Hello everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming today to you for Tuesday Talks. Today it's very evident what's happening here in Florida. We have been the threat of a horrible storm called Hurricane Dorian, and a lot of people, of course, taken shelter or in preparation of it did get a lot of water, as we all prepare for, and a lot of extra candles, may it be batteries, whatever that it may be, because of course if the electricity goes out, we want to be prepared to be able to cook and to still have nourishment. But it doesn't really come to play that there is a lack of preparation when there is senior living for our seniors. So meaning that it really takes the whole community to make sure that each senior is safe within their community. So this is something that you might consider when looking for a senior living community for your senior loved one. What community is a safe stay at place? Some buildings are actually built with the hurricane preparedness, meaning they're structured that they can survive a Category 5 storm, and that they do not have to leave. But in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma that hit the East Coast very bad, and South Florida, did we not realize that preparation was so important for our seniors, and those that need assistance that might be living alone? As you know and read in the papers, there was a senior living community in the Miami area, South Florida area, and nursing home that because of the temperature without electricity got so stifling hot in the actual facility that a lot of those seniors, of course, dehydrated and unfortunately ultimately passed. So there was a new law passed by our governor, and that it did evolve in our senior living community network, that it is that generators are a requirement now within senior living communities. May they be assisted living, memory care, even that of adult family care homes, that you're going to be able to sustain yourself for many days, and also water supply and food supply. So the generator, of course, would not only provide electricity, comfort, meaning cool air, but also for refrigeration purposes. This is all, again, something very important to consider when you're doing tours. And of course, I do know those things as a certified administrator, knowing what the requirements are of these communities, that what they're required to have, and what laws have been passed, and some sanctions that they are required to follow, that that they're going to be able to sustain themselves through a storm. Some have to evacuate the path of a storm because, of course, their buildings are not equipped to sustain winds, or not built, to the new codes. And then also maybe because of not enough staffing. Some senior living communities, it's a requirement if there is a storm that they require all the employees to stay on premise, so they could help with all the seniors that are living there, and all their residents that are living there that need extra assistance. They even offer their families to come on board as well too, to live there during the time of the storm. Some have to evacuate. Some large senior living communities evacuate maybe in the center of the state, or to the north of the state, of course away from the path of the hurricane, and usually they take part in either another community in that area or a large hotel. So these are all the considerations when looking for your senior loved one. What would happen in a storm? What would happen if Hurricane Irma surfaced again, and now that it's Hurricane Diana? What do you do for your preparations for these storms? Who do you have a generator in place? How much is your supply on hand for food and water, and who is your backup to supply the fuel to run the generator? These are questions that we don't think to ask because we might not be in the moment of a storm, but it's something that you really should really be enlightened about, and how each community handles it. We are safe. We're very lucky as to where I reside in West Central Florida from the storm. But the people on the coast, it may not be that it was going to be a Category 5 now for the hurricane. But what goes behind the scenes in preparing for it, even if it might be 2-3 days away, the staff, especially from the executive director to the director of nursing, resident care director, and all the staff underneath are in major planning mode to make sure that their residents are safe. They're responsible for it. And then there's the contact list. So if you're living out of town of where your senior loved one lives in that community, you will be getting a phone call and say, in preparation for the storm, we are going to stay in place because our community is safe from its path, or where we have a shelter in place, or this is where we will be going in lieu of staying here with other communities as well. Maybe to another community, or on the other side of town, or it may be a hotel. So this is all the things that are of, urgent effect. So regular day-to-day business still goes on, but now we're in the emergency mode. So I just want to say that I hope you all are safe, and I hope your senior loved ones are safe from this storm as it rides up the coastline. We don't know its direction, where it may turn, where it might turn up. But as you prepare for your home for this storm and this hurricane, it may be a tropical storm, whatever that it may be, just think of your senior loved ones as well too. Even if they're living at home alone, make sure that somebody's looking after them. Don't forget, they might not be able to go to the store, or they might not be able to replenish their water supply, or their food and their nutrition, especially what would happen if the electricity goes out. So please don't take it for granted that a neighbor next door is okay. Mama is okay because her neighbor next door is taken care of. They want to hear from you as well too. So it's always great when things are great, that senior loved ones hear from their family, but it's time like this that it's elevated the emotional part of it, because they know that they're not as independent, that they can take care of those things. So please pray for those that all live in the islands of the Bahamas, how they were affected, and all those that are still in the path of Hurricane Dorian. And it's still hurricane season for a bit longer until the next one hits. But remember, when planning for a senior living community, is what plans is your community for a hurricane, tropical storm, whatever that it may be that will affect them. What is your emergency plan? You have every right to ask that. Or ask me. I'll tell you a lot about the communities as well too. So again, hope you're safe, and thank you for tuning in for Tuesday Talks with Linda McKenna of Golden Rule Senior Placement Services. Just a side note, as far as my Facebook page, I've been suspended, I guess because a lot of posting recently because in lieu of the storm. And so I won't be back on Facebook till September 7th. And but I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you, and this obviously is only going to be seen through my website, and my website is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. I checked out all my little peeps that are safe and sound in their homes and in their senior living communities, and they're all good. So I'm happy that my clients are safe. So wishing you the same. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day and a good week. Bye-bye.